It might be the offseason in New Orleans. This might be the time of year when the party dies down a little bit for the summer months because it's oppressively hot outside. But there is plenty of partying this weekend in the Big Easy because the most hated quarterback in the history of this franchise, he is never coming back. First things first, we all hope Derek Carr is okay. To his credit, he did the Saints a massive favor by retiring when he did. He saved the Saints $30 million against this year's salary cap, which is something that he didn't necessarily have to do. Recently, his wife went through a miscarriage. It has been a rough few months for Derek Carr and his family, and I imagine that this was not an easy decision to make. I wish Derek Carr, the man, nothing but the best. I hope he enjoys his retirement. I hope he and his family are doing well. But Donnie Carr? Donnie, the doofus, who was pretending to be a franchise quarterback? Check down Donnie, rattled in the pocket Donnie, blaming his receivers for his own shortcomings Donnie, eating at Chipotle Donnie in a city that is famous around the world for its food. That Donnie will not be missed. You know, there are certain people that are just unlikable. It doesn't mean they're bad people. Hell, Derek Carr seems like a great guy, but for some reason, the dude is just not likable. He wasn't liked in Oakland, wasn't liked in Vegas, damn sure wasn't liked in New Orleans by both the city and the players. Well, Casey, you don't know that. I'm sure Derek Carr was highly respected and liked in the locker room. Oh, yeah? Over these last few months, over the last couple of years, how many players have come to his defense? Outside of Cam Jordan, I can't name one. Derek Carr is just one of those dudes who rubs people the wrong way. Even if he wasn't retiring, there was absolutely no way he could return to New Orleans. Too much damage had already been done. He was booed relentlessly in the Superdome last year. He moved his family out to Fresno, which is fine. That's fine. Drew Brees spent part of the offseason in San Diego, but you know where Drew Brees spent most of the offseason? New Orleans. Drew Brees immersed himself in the city. Mardi Gras, Drew Brees in New Orleans. Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Drew Brees was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl this year, and he's not even on the damn team. Where was Derek Carr? He's out in Fresno doing doofus car reviews with his doofus brother. Then he's preaching a sermon in some mega church in Las Vegas where he's trying to turn himself into the ultimate victim. My shoulder is really hurt, you guys. Why are people being so mean to me? Dude, you're making $40 million a year. You have not earned the right to be above criticism. You have not earned the right to be above questioning. One of the main problems with Derek Carr, he wanted to be treated like a franchise quarterback when he wasn't a franchise quarterback. He wanted to be treated like Drew Brees without doing everything that Drew Brees did to earn it. No one outworked Drew Brees, both on and off the field. After practice, Drew Brees would simulate the upcoming game by himself. Sean Payton was leaving the facility late one night, and he noticed that the lights on the practice field were still on. He went to turn them off, and he noticed that Drew Brees was down on the 10-yard line throwing fades into the end zone. Naturally, Sean Payton asked what the hell he was doing. Drew Brees told him that he was simulating the game. Sean Payton asked him what the score was, what quarter they were in. Drew Brees said that we're up 7-3 late in the second quarter. In his 2 years in New Orleans, you know how many Derek Carr stories I've heard similar to that one? None. Now, doesn't mean that he didn't work hard, doesn't mean he wasn't dedicated, but with all the criticism that he has dealt with, you would think someone would defend him with a story like that. To my knowledge, it's never happened. Now, that being said, Derek Carr deserves credit for how he handled the end of his time in New Orleans. Now, I'm not talking about the last 4 months. I'm talking about today. Derek Carr did not have to retire. If he wanted to be an asshole, Derek Carr could have spent the entire year on IR and collected the $40 million that the Saints owed him. Instead, he chose retirement, which saved the Saints $30 million against this year's cap. He did not have to do that, so at least he is ending his time in New Orleans on a positive note. But I promise you, no one is sad to see him go. Now, the question going into the season will obviously be who's going to be the starting quarterback. Some think it should be Spencer Rattler. I think it's going to be Tyler Shough, mainly because Kellen Moore handpicked him in the draft. Now, I never watched him in college. I have no idea whether he is capable of being a franchise quarterback in this league. I will say, he has done everything right so far. He wasted no time after he was drafted, arriving to the city and immersing himself in the culture. He's got a tough task ahead of him because the Saints roster, at least on paper, ain't very good. If Tyler Shough can elevate this team, if he can win 7-8 games this season, I would consider that a success. Even if he wins 4 games, this season will be better than the last 3 because at least the Saints seem to be heading in the right direction. New coach, new quarterback, new culture. We still have Mickey Loomis in the front office. We still have Gail Benson. But at this point, I'll take whatever change we can get. For the first time in 3 years, it feels like the Saints are heading in the right direction. I'll actually enjoy watching them play this year, even if they're 3-14. They could be the worst team in the league. Now, I doubt that will happen. They'll probably win 5-6 games at minimum, but I can deal with the losing as long as the losing means something. I can deal with the losing if I'm watching a young coach and a young quarterback develop. What I could not deal with was another season of Denise and Donnie. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.